And good afternoon. It is time for our regular lunch and learn. And today we're going to talk about zinc. Now, if you're paying attention to the headlines, if you're paying attention to the talking heads, then you're going to know that some people are recommending that we incorporate zinc into our daily supplementation. And some people are saying, nah, it's not that big a deal. But I want to tell you that zinc is very much a big deal. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about it. Now, I want to show you, I don't know how well this is going to come out, but these are the foods that have zinc: oysters, kidney beans, uh, pumpkin seeds, and mushrooms. So some of these things you may eat, some of these things you may not eat. I am not a bean person. I'm just going to tell you, I'm not really an oyster person either. Pumpkin seeds I like, and mushrooms I like, but do I get enough of them? I don't know. Probably not, according to my blood work. So the statistics are, if you are 65 or over, you probably are only getting probably 50% of the recommended amount of zinc that you need. And so we need to up our food, and we also need to know what conditions are caused by a lack of zinc. Now, one thing, when I was researching this, one of the things that I came across is it causes you to lose your hair. So if you are a woman of a certain age, and we always go to thyroid, that's what we think. A lot of you will be purchasing biotin and that kind of thing for your hair, but zinc actually can cause your hair to fall out. So I did not know that. This is why I love Lunch and Learn, because hopefully you're learning something. I always learn something. And so we always want to be looking at what we're doing so that we can learn, right? So zinc is an essential nutrient. It is a micronutrient. So the article says zinc deficiency is not uncommon. 17.3% of the global population is deficient. And as I said, if you're over 65, you're even more deficient. So this is one thing that we do in the office, and I'm going to offer this to you for free. Okay. It is a test to see if you are zinc deficient. Now, we've got liquid zinc. You can hear it. Well, maybe you can't hear it, but I can hear it. It's liquid zinc, and you take a cupful. It says Dixie cupful, a swallow. It doesn't have to be more than a swallow. If it tastes metallic, you're good. You're perfect. If it tastes like water, you're extremely deficient. If it tastes like water at first, and then you develop a slight metallic taste, you're slightly deficient, but not way deficient. The first time I did that test, I tasted nothing. So I was very, very zinc deficient, and I did not know that because I don't like kidney beans. I just don't like them. And so when we make chili, I make it beanless. Just going to throw that out there, because a lot of times that's where you're going to get your kidney beans, is in your chili. So I don't do that. So I need to supplement with zinc. Now, here are 4 common signs that your body is deficient in zinc. Lack of appetite. And we have a lot of people come in, they don't have any appetite, they don't feel good, they don't want to eat, it's too much trouble to eat, and that could be a zinc deficiency. Mental lethargy. You just don't have enough brain power to stick with the book, stick with the crosswords, stick with any kind of mental activity that you're doing. Impaired sense of taste or smell. Now, doesn't that sound familiar? Frequent colds, flus, or infections. So if you're catching everything that comes around the corner, then you probably are zinc deficient. Now, one of the things that has been researched pretty much lately in the pandemic is the fact that zinc stops viral replication. Now, it's not just for one certain virus, but it is for all viruses. So that's something to, as we're heading into the winter seasons here in the United States, this is something that if you want an arsenal of supplements that you can take so that you keep your immune system on high alert, and that's what we want. A lot of people will say, I need to boost my immune system, and that's really not quite right terminology, because if you boost your immune system, that means that you have a pathogen and you're fighting off an infection. That will boost your immune system. So that's really not the terminology that we use. The terminology that we use is that we strengthen your immune system. We also uh, have it be on high alert. And so what that means with me and my body, when I feel like I'm coming down with something, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll feel like things are just not quite right. Don't have a fever. I just wake up kind of blah, maybe a little scratchy throat, maybe just not feeling well. So I will set my phone for every 2 hours to give me an alert. I go to my kitchen cabinet. I pull out my infection herbs. Okay. It's for infection, virus, whatever kind of pathogen it is. It's broad spectrum. It's all natural. And I start taking that every 2 hours. Now, do I take mega doses? No, I don't take mega doses, but I take enough throughout the day that it signals my immune system, hey, there's something in the field, there's something in the environment that you need to take care of. And so I keep my immune system on high alert. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to boost it. We want to strengthen it, and we want to keep it on high alert. So I told you about the zinc tally test, how you can do that. You can also do it in a blood test. You can also do a saliva test, and you can send it off to a lab. But this is a test. It normally costs around $40 or something. We do it here in the clinic. We're going to do this for you for free. So when you come into the clinic, you tell the front desk that you saw this video and you want to check your zinc levels. It's an easy thing to do. Zinc is not an expensive element to have. You can eat your pumpkin seeds. You can eat more oysters if that's on your menu. You can eat kidney beans if that's on your menu, or you can just add more mushrooms to your steak, which is probably what I'm going to do because those are like my favorite foods. Okay. So who is mainly deficient in zinc? Those with malnutrition. Now, what is malnutrition? That means that you eat, but you're not absorbing what you eat. A lot of times we think that malnutrition is, I don't have enough to eat. That's what happens to the starving children in third world countries. That's why their little bellies are out. And that's true. But you can be a very obese American, eat all you want, and still be malnourished because you're not, number one, taking in the quality nutrients that you need, or two, you're not absorbing nutrients. And that is a gut issue. Now, we've talked about this before. I'm sure you're getting tired of me talking about this, but this is key. The gut brain, I guess I should have put it to my tummy first and then my brain, gut brain connection tells your immune system how to function. So if your gut is dysfunctional at all, and almost everybody's is to a certain degree, why is that? Because we eat genetically modified foods. If you eat pasta or bread or cereal, you are consuming genetically modified foods. If you're consuming soy products, you're consuming genetically modified foods. If you're consuming corn, you're consuming genetically modified food. So all of us that love to go out to the Mexican restaurant, right? We just need to know that we're consuming things that are not necessarily healthy, and what that those genetically modified organisms are going to do, they're going to destroy the gut villi, and that's going to cause us to have malabsorption issues. So it's easily reversed. It's easily repaired. We just have to do it. So gut repair is a main thing that we do here in the clinic. Someone who is elderly, of course, over 65. I can't even believe that they call that elderly, because I do not consider myself elderly. Okay, I'm just right there. I'm not over 65, but I'm just kind of right there. And I just do not consider myself elderly at all. I consider elderly people who can't function. So people who can't think right, people who can't move their bodies right, brain impairment, and that kind of thing. So those are the kind of people that have zinc deficiency. People with inflammatory or autoimmune conditions. And as you know, we've talked about this a lot. We practically see autoimmune issues all the time, every day. And so we know how to get that where it needs to be. And it is something that zinc will help with. Vegetarians and vegans also they are zinc deficient. So if that is your menu preference, then you need to understand that you might need to have a little bit of supplementation on that because you're not getting the requisite amount of zinc. And as I said, this, for the next few weeks anyway, we're going to offer this test for free. You don't have an appointment. All you have to do is come in. If we're busy, you just have to sit and be patient. It's like that test. We give you a little bit of zinc to taste. If you taste it metallic, you're on your way. You're good. If you taste it and it tastes like water or it tastes sweet, then we know that you have an issue and we'll be able to help you out there. So zinc deficiency leads to multiple health conditions. So this is what's really, really important because a lot of these conditions are comorbidities that make the outcome of the current pandemic even worse. So this is something that we all need to understand. Zinc deficiency can be a result of a hyperinflammatory response from pro-inflammatory cytokines. Where have we heard those words before? Thus, with a deficiency of zinc, you not only get more viral infection, but these trigger an increase in the hyperinflammatory response. Now, we know that all sickness and disease is a result of inflammation. Is inflammation bad? No. Inflammation means the body says, oh, something's not quite right, so we need to do a search and destroy mission. But when we have chronic inflammation over a long, long period of time, we'll say months, that's not resolved, then that turns into a chronic condition. And when that happens, then that leads to that cytokine inflammatory response. So if you have these conditions, you would benefit from zinc supplementation. So atherosclerosis, okay, autoimmune diseases, bronchial asthma. All right, we see a lot of people with bronchial issues and asthma issues. Cancer. If you have cancer, you're a cancer survivor, you're zinc deficient. If you have COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, we hear about that a lot. It's been in the news. It is a chronic zinc deficiency. Diabetes, I think, is the number 2 growing health issue in the United States. And so if you are a diabetic, then you have a zinc deficiency, most likely. If you're on diuretics, all right, why would you be on diuretics? You're on diuretics if you have hypertension, if you have edema, if you're swelling. The doctor's going to give you diuretics to pull the water off. If you've got kidney disease, you probably are going to be on diuretics because your kidneys are not functioning the way they need to. And so that depletes your zinc stores. And so that's really important. If you are of advanced age, and again, they say that's 65 and over, so take that for what it's worth. Immunosuppression. So if you have had an organ transplant, if you have had chemotherapy, if you've had radiation, then you are zinc deficient. We talked about kidney disease, but also cirrhosis of the liver. A lot of people think that you can only have cirrhosis of the liver if you are an alcoholic, and that is a risk you take if you over imbibe in alcohol. But you can also have something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which also produces cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is just a fancy name for scar tissue. Refined flour scars the liver, okay? Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease there. Tobacco smoking. If you smoke tobacco, guess what? You are zinc deficient. And so we need to take care of that. And then if you are obese, and we know that in the United States that I think it's 60% of us are overweight, and I think a third of us are obese. I think obese is 30 pounds over your normal weight. So if that is you, then you are zinc deficient. Now, what is the big deal about zinc? Well, you have, I think it's 30 different enzymes that need zinc to be able to function. So what does that mean? All of the chemical things that happen in your body, you eat your food, your digestive system turns your food into energy. That is done by the process of enzymes. Enzymes turn on switches, turn off switches. So all of the chemical processes in your body, when you get your blood work and you have all of those chemicals in there, all of those require enzymes. And if you don't have zinc, then those enzymes are not going to work properly, and your chemicals are not going to do what they need to do. So your body's not going to function the way it needs to. Now, zinc is a micronutrient, not a macronutrient. Now, a macronutrient would be like calcium or potassium, something that you need a lot of. You don't need a lot of the zinc, but you do need it in sufficient quantities that your body's able to do all that it needs to do. So this is really, really important. It stops the viral replication, as I said, but zinc is not readily bioavailable, which is why you need the other supplements that we're all talking about these days, like quercetin, vitamin D3, vitamin C, all that kind of thing, because it makes the zinc work better. It makes it bioavailable. If something is not bioavailable, then it's just going to pass through the GI tract. You're not going to get any benefit from it. And that's not what we want. You may have heard of Dr. Zelenko. I'm trying to remember his first. Oh, here we go. Vladimir Zelenko. He is a Jewish medical doctor. He lives in New York. He's all over the internet if you know where to look for him. He is awesome. I've seen videos of him. I have emails from him. I have protocols that he is working with because he has a medical practice in New York. And so he has some statistics. Let me see if I can find that really quickly here. He says that he created a website to facilitate crowdsourcing medical data from frontline primary doctors around the world. There are academics who also support his efforts, including some at our own University of Texas, which hosts a download page describing the history and citations behind his protocol. So we always want to look for credible evidence, not just anecdotal evidence. And anecdotal evidence is, oh, my girlfriend did this and it helped her, and I think you should do this. Well, yeah, that's all fine and good. But we want to have things that are tried and true and proven. And if we can get peer-reviewed studies, all the better, okay? Because we're all about not just knowledge, but wisdom as well. So we like him a lot, and he's done a lot of research on zinc. So people who are deficient in zinc have an increased susceptibility to pathogens, including through the skin barrier. Now, you may or may not know that your skin is your number one defense against any kind of pathogen. When you pierce your skin, cut your skin, you're in an accident and you tear your skin, then that opens up your body to pathogens. That's why we get tetanus shots. That's why we go to the doctor. That's why we do antibiotics. I mean, this is all just first grade stuff. We all know that. But even if your skin is intact, if zinc is deficient, then you're going to have problems with absorbing. You're going to absorb pathogens, bacteria through the skin. What kind of pathogens are on the skin? A staph infection, strep, all those kind of things are on the skin. We all have staph bacteria. All of us do. It's part of our environment. But if our skin is intact, then we don't have any problem with it. If we're low in zinc, then our skin is not going to be resistant to those bacteria. And so we're going to have issues like impetigo or just a chronic staph infection, which is not good. Zinc mediates non-specific immunity, including natural killer cells and neutrophils. So let me take a moment to kind of educate us on that. So white blood cell is part of your bloodstream, obviously. Red blood cells, what gives your blood the red color. White blood cells are your little soldiers in your blood, and you've got different kinds. You've got neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, macrocytes, meliocytes, basophils, eosinophils. There's more than that, but those are the ones that you're really going to see most of the time. When you have your neutrophils, right, those are the ones that go after and scavenge all of the invaders. So when you have on your blood work a high neutrophil percentage, that means your body is fighting an infection. Conversely, when you have a very, very low percentage, then that means you've got a chronic infection that the body just cannot overcome. And so that's really, really important. That's why I like to look at your blood work. Natural killer cells are part of your white blood cells. They are the ones that go out and they target cancer cells. And so zinc helps us with those cells. And who doesn't need more natural killer cells? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it because we need to make sure that our body, our immune system is strong. Zinc deficiency prevents the activation of the T lymphocytes, the production of the Th1 cytokine, and the ability of the B lymphocytes to help. During deficiency, B lymphocyte development is also compromised. Now, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago with our natural immunity, and that we not necessarily is the antibodies that we're thinking about. It is those B lymphocytes that have the memory of the infection, and those are the ones that can stay in the body up to, so far that we know, 20 years from the 2003 SARS. I think it was called just SARS is what it was called in 2003. The people that had that virus, then they were able to be tested today in the last year, and they still have antibodies to that infection. And it is not the antibodies, it is the B lymphocyte immune response that remembers what that infection is. So that's really, really important. Deficiency affects the functions of the macrophage cells, which trigger the cytokine production and deregulated intracellular death. That's important. A macrophage, remember we talk about the little Pac-Man creatures that, gobble up in the lymphatic system, they gobble up all the pathogens. Well, when you are zinc deficient, that doesn't work as well. So we need to make sure that that does work. Zinc is also central in DNA replication, RNA transcription, and cell activation and division. Now, you may have heard of something called misfolded proteins. DNA is a protein. Misfolded protein means that when a cell multiplies, divides, creates a new cell, some of the DNA gets corrupted and that protein misfolds. And it sounds like when you're doing your laundry and you don't fold something correctly. It's not quite like that. But the problem is, if the protein doesn't fold correctly, it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. And then you get mutations. Some mutations you can overcome, some mutations you cannot overcome. The older you get, and I'm going to say after 50, but more importantly, after 70, your body has been assaulted by life for that many years. So your DNA has undergone changes. It has already mutated to a certain extent because that's just what happens. You get mutations all the time. The older you get, the longer you've been mutating. So the mutations can get more and more severe. I know that's not a happy thought, but that's what aging is all about. If the proteins didn't misfold, then we would never get old, right? And so we just have to understand that. So when we're older, we have to be more protective with our DNA so that our DNA folds properly so we can stay healthy. So this is what zinc is all about. And we've talked about this, and we did a Tuesday testimonial on this. This product is called Immune AV. This is a great product. I love this product. Why do I love this product? Because it has everything you need to absorb your zinc. Okay, this is really important. It has zinc in there. Now, it doesn't have a great amount, but it is very bioavailable. If you are immunocompromised, if you come and you do this test and you don't taste the zinc, then you're going to need to supplement. And I think they're requesting that we supplement between 100 and 200 milligrams per day if we are deficient. You don't have to do that for very long. Your body responds very, very quickly. But if you are sufficient, you could take one of these at the evening, at bedtime or at dinner or whatever, and it has your vitamin A, your vitamin C, your zinc, your copper, your L-lysine. Why do we like L-lysine? Because it stops viral replication. You know, if you get cold sores all the time, that if you do L-lysine, which is an amino acid, it will stop those cold sores from busting out. And so that's good. It's got astragalus. It's got milk thistle for your liver. It has elderberry. It's got reishi mushrooms. Now, we love reishi mushrooms for our immune system. It's got cordyceps, which we also love for our immune system. It's got pau d'arco. Now, what is pau d'arco? Pau d'arco is an herb, and it is a malaria herb. Why do we like that? Because hydroxychloroquine, right? The quinines, all of those are malaria drugs. And so this is an herb that helps with viral replication, especially the one that everybody's afraid of right now. It also has echinacea, golden seal, and quercetin. It also has enzymes to make all of that very bioavailable. So what I want you to take away from this is the importance of zinc. And if you do not have enough zinc, you're going to be in trouble. So we don't want you to be in trouble. We are going to gift you. Okay, Thanksgiving is next week. So we're all going to be grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the platform that we have. If you're in the local area, like I say, you don't have to have an appointment. It's not going to cost you anything. We'll give you this zinc tally test immediately. You're going to know if you're deficient in zinc, and then you're going to know what you need to do. That's our gift to you to keep you healthy throughout the season. The holidays are coming up. Nobody eats properly during the holidays, right? And so when we don't eat properly, we have too much sugar, we have too much of the whatever we have, then it also depresses our immune system, and then we're much more likely to become ill. I saw a Facebook meme this week that kind of cracked me up. It said, we have a holiday full of candy in October. We have a holiday full of pies in November. We have a holiday full of candy in December. And we have a holiday full of alcohol in January. And they call this the flu season. And that cracked me up, because all of the things that we eat during this season is what causes our immune system to be compromised. And I think if we look at that instead of look at whatever is in the air, that we're just going to be a whole lot better. So thank you for joining me. I've enjoyed speaking to you about this today. Please like, please share, please comment, please react, because Facebook likes that. It will share to more people. I do appreciate all of you that do share it. It blesses my heart. I have people come in every week and they say, I liked your video. And I don't know that you're watching my video because your name's not on there, or you don't make a comment, or you don't send me a private comment. Please do that, because I want to be able to be a resource for you. What are you interested in? And I do appreciate the likes and the shares and all that kind of stuff. So it is the weekend. We have a holiday full of candy in October on Sunday. So take care of yourself. Be safe this weekend. Love you guys so much. Rest, recover. A new month is coming, and I will see you soon. Take care. Love you. Bye.